Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to Eric Teichmiller, with special thanks to Anerdinwarpaint, Matthew Holmquist, Nathan Welch Jr., and Valinrook, all of whom helped make this series possible. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Wasteland 3, as we get our first glimpse of Colorado Springs, the supposed last bastion of civilization in a blighted world. I mean, I think it's fair to say at this point that the whole Arizona experiment didn't really pan out. But who knows, maybe the Patriarch has somehow found a way to make things work. I guess we'll find out. Slightly less utopian than I was expecting. But I suppose these are unusual circumstances.
Please, my son's not a Dorsey. Let him go. You don't look like marshals. Do you work for the Patriarch?
We're the Rangers. We work for anyone who needs our help.
Then my boy needs your help. He's going to be executed. And they won't listen when I say he's no killer. Judge Watkins has sentenced my son to die. Austin is all I have left. Everyone else died on the plains. He's a good boy. He never hurt anyone. I'm sure of it. Please, maybe Watkins will listen to you.
What happened? Why was your son sentenced to death?
I don't even know why he was rounded up. He won't tell me. Says he's embarrassed. I know they caught him doing something wrong, but he says he never hurt anyone. If you talk to him, maybe he'll tell you what happened. Sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger than your mother. I know that much.
Who's your son?
Austin Pease, the skinny boy up on the platform. I can't imagine he killed anyone. We've seen enough death on our way out here. He never wanted to hurt anyone, ever.
And what's your story?
Our family escaped the wars in the East. Tried to make our way across the plains. My husband, my other son, my daughters, one by one, picked off and killed. Now it's just the two of us, and I'm gonna lose him too.
All right, we'll see what we can do.
Please, help my son!
I guess we should have a chat with the magistrate.
We ain't gonna murderers for our lives. We ain't weak like you.
This looks like the Patriarch's Dorsey captive. Guess his trial was a quick one.
We'll have our revenge. You ain't seen the last of us.
This dour man looks at the pillories with an expression of grim satisfaction. His sallow skin pulls tight over his face, and his thin lips press together in a hard line.
Howdy, Judge. How's your heart? Still colder than a well-digger's ass?
Marshal Quan, impertinent as ever, I see. Rangers, I am Magistrate Silas Watkins. I have heard of your arrival, partly from the confessions of the Dorsey Raiders. You'll be pleased to know that I sentenced them to death for their part in the attack on the city and your convoy.
Which reminds me, that Dorsey you requested stand trial? He was clearly guilty and sentenced to the pillories. A waste of my time. He did have this note, though, which you may find interesting.
Oh, that's new. I don't think that actually happened back in the beta. Also, you can kind of tell they recorded that in a separate session. What's with the pillories?
They are the only instrument of justice we need. Serious offenders die by exposure. Sometimes I might grant a reprieve after frostbiters claim their extremities.
Wow, death by exposure seems harsh.
Oh, to the contrary. It is more merciful than the punishments meted out by the mountain clans or the gangs of the plains. If we did any less, they would see our nation as weak. And in Colorado, weakness is death. As much as we might long for the world before the bombs, when justice was not so cruel, that is not the world we inhabit.
And let's be honest, Judge. You kind of like it too, don't you?
No, I do not. I only do what the law commands.
And since you're the law around here, I guess you're your own boss.
I follow principles set forth at the second founding of this city, as you know very well. Without our laws and the penalties to enforce them, we're no better than the Wastelanders.
You have no other punishments here?
For some offenses, we have a work camp on the plains. I don't approve of their methods, but it's outside my jurisdiction. Minor infractions, like public drunkenness or disorderly conduct, are punished by a short stay in the sheriff's lockup.
He gestures towards the building behind him. Yeah, let's talk about something else.
Proceed.
You have a young prisoner named Austin. His mother says he's done nothing wrong.
A mother will say anything to save her child. If you want the truth, talk to the boy yourself.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess we'll go do that.
Indeed.
We could probably use some better social skills here, but we don't really have a lot of points to spare at the moment.
We'll have our revenge. You ain't seen the last of us. We'll have our revenge. You ain't seen the last of us.
Yeah, as much as I'd like to boost Bonker's skills, he's only got 4 points to play with, so we'll hold on to those for now and let Quan do the heavy lifting. At least until Bonkers gains another level.
We ain't gonna beg for our lives! We ain't weak like you!
This teenage prisoner is gaunt and pale. His hair is tousled and greasy, his face angular with hunger. He stares at the pillories with dread, swallowing occasionally. He sees you staring at him and snaps back to reality.
Sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you. Just got a lot on my mind.
Yeah, I'll bet. How'd you get in trouble with the marshals?
Made a real big mistake. See, the Plains gangs chased my mom and me off our land. We lost everything. Heard this was a place of God-fearing people and thought they'd do right by us. People here kept us out in the cold, letting us starve to death while they sat inside, warm and fed. Then the Dorseys came and gave me some food and some kindness and asked me to do some vandalism. I figured what was the harm? I never killed no one, but I did bust some windows. Marshals caught me doing it, and they said I was working with the Dorseys. Magistrate agreed, so here I am. Mom would have talked me out of it. I should have talked to her first.
It does seem to paint a slightly less rosy picture of Colorado Springs. Why'd you do it?
We were starving. No two ways about it. We were going to die. Dorseys gave us food. I figured a few windows was a worthwhile trade for the bread and meat that saved our lives.
I've got to say, it doesn't really sound like the punishment fits the crime.
I thought it was too harsh, but what happens if I speak up now? Will they come after my mom? I can't take the chance.
So, you got a daring escape plan?
No, I was never no desperado. Don't rightly know why I let myself get caught up in this.
He swallows hard, his eyes on the pillories.
But if I'm to die, I'd at least like to do that right. Gonna do that like a man.
What's your sentence?
Magistrate tells me it's death. They're gonna strip me down and tie me to those things. And they're gonna let the cold do its work.
He shivers.
I wonder if it'll hurt.
Wish I could tell you it won't, kid. But that'd be a lie.
Let's say we can free you. What's that worth to you?
Magistrate's a hard man. I wish I could believe it'd work. I'd do anything for someone who could get me free without hurting anybody in the process. Guess I don't have any money to give you, but I'd pay you back in hard work, if you'll have me.
Do you have any useful skills?
I'm used to hard work around the homestead, and I ain't too bad with a gun either. My folks made sure I could hunt and fight. I always dreamed of coming to the big city and being a newspaper man. You know, interviewing people, telling the truth about how things really are. Sure didn't turn out like I hoped.
He shakes his head. All right, Austin. Rest easy. We'll figure something out.
Nice talking to you.
Okay, so...
We ain't gonna beg for our lives! We ain't weak like you!
Thank you. Let's go have a chat with the sheriff. See if she can help us out with this.
Marshals! Finally! I was beginning to think you were never going to help... Hold on now. You aren't marshals. You look like ruffians. Are you here to see the sheriff? Well, I'm first. I've been waiting here on tenterhooks for an hour.
You know what? I'm gonna give that a pass. I mean, look at us. What kind of help do you need from the marshals?
It's maddening. My family has been kidnapped by those no-good Dorseys, and the marshals will give me no answers about their situation. They won't even speak to me.
To be fair, the marshals do seem a bit overwhelmed at the moment.
That may be, but my family is one of the leading families of Colorado Springs. We have been longtime allies of the Patriarch and supporters of all he stands for. Surely that should be given some consideration.
Huh. Is there anyone here you think should get less consideration than you?
I suppose not. We are all equal in the eyes of God, as they say. I am just frustrated. That is all. It doesn't seem that anything is being done.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Who are you, anyway?
My name is Lucia Wesson. daughter of Percival Wesson and Maria Reyes of the 100 Families. But now they and my little brother have been kidnapped by those good-for-nothing Dorseys, and I fear for their lives.
Can you tell us more about the 100 Families?
We are the founding families of Colorado Springs, descended from the survivalists who came together after the deluge of fire and helped the Patriarch build a stronger Colorado. I'm proud to trace my lineage back before the war on both sides of my family.
What exactly is going on here?
Someone let the Dorseys into town, and the savages have taken my family hostage, along with a good many others, and retreated to the Garden of the Gods. I came here to demand that Sheriff Daisy immediately mount an expedition to save them, but her marshals keep putting me off.
Who were the Dorseys?
No good traitors, that's what they are. Used to be 100 families, like us, but rotten. Backstabbers, every one of them. At least that's what my father says. They rebelled against the Patriarch before I was born, and were driven from the city. I was always told they were dead and gone. It seems I was misinformed.
Yeah, funny how that happened. You know, we're the Arizona Rangers. We could help you.
Well, you look capable enough, but I don't know you from Adam. Why, you might be robbers or bandits.
Or raiders?
No. Thanks all the same, but I think I'll continue to wait on the proper authorities. Frustrating though that may be. Sheriff Daisy, I will not leave until you speak to me.
Well, we tried.
We should build some more watchtowers.
Miss Wesson, could you... I'm sorry. I have to talk to these folks. Sorry about that. Are you the Rangers? We were told to expect you. Sheriff Daisy's waiting for you in the back.
Thanks, Torres.
Anytime, Marshal Quan.
What are you working on?
Reports. Lots of reports.
Some things never change.
The Dorsey raid really tore up the town. Murder, looting, fires. They even attacked this station. Not that they got very far. It's been exhausting.
Any advice on how to handle Sheriff Daisy?
Don't blink.
Ominous? Can you tell us about the Marshals?
It's on the back of the box. We keep the peace here in Colorado Springs. Mostly, though, we do what Sheriff Daisy says.
Okay, thank you very much. You have been very helpful.
Thanks. If you've got any feedback, be sure to fill out a form.
I'll keep it in mind. I'm a little sad we cut that side conversation short, but I think it was just about beefing up security. The Marshals must go through a bunker's worth of coffee every day.
How's your family?
My mom and pa are safe. Still haven't heard from my sister. She was working near the museum when the attack started.
Jesus. Fucking Dorseys? I'm sure she's okay.
Yeah.
The sheriff is a statuesque woman with graying blonde hair and steel in her smile.
Well, now you must be the Rangers. I'm the sheriff around here, but you can call me Daisy. Old Saul tells me you're a bunch of badasses, and I ain't one to turn away a badass, especially at a time like this. I reckon you already heard all about the Dorsey raid, so I won't bore you with the details. Suffice it to say, we whooped 'em good, and the survivors are holed up in the Garden of the Gods with a bunch of hostages. Thing is, I lost a lot of marshals. My boys and girls are tired and beat up. You want to make some fast friends around here? You could go into the garden and speak to those Dorseys for us. Maybe find out how the hell they got into the city in the first place.
And by speak, you mean shoot the everlasting shit out of them and save those hostages, right, boss?
Quan, I hear you're some fancy liaison now. Old Saul taking my people without even asking? How dare he? Anyway, yes, you rascal. That's exactly what I mean. But question him first, you hear?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. I don't see why not. We'd be glad to help.
And I'm glad to hear it. The job's easy enough, if you like using bullets. Now, the Dorseys' hostages are from the fancy side of town. 100 families folk. Try to get 'em out of there alive, or I'll never hear the fucking end of it. And please, take young Miss Wesson with you. I need that girl out of my hair. In fact, I'm gonna insist. I'm telling Lupinski not to let you into the garden without her. But don't worry. She knows which end of the gun the bullets come out of.
Oh, that's good to know.
Go in there and kick some ass, Rangers. The garden's on the far side of the market square. Don't forget to take Miss Wesson with you.
Okay, so we cannot ask her about Austin. Let's go have a chat with Lucia and wrangle with the magistrate.
I'm not sure why the sheriff didn't assign me marshals, but, well, beggars can't be choosers. I am the Miss Wesson she spoke of. Lucia Wesson, daughter of Percival Wesson and Maria Reyes of the 100 Families. As Sheriff Daisy told you, they and some of our neighbors were taken hostage by the Dorseys, and I mean to free them. All of them. So, I am ready when you are.
What is the Garden of the Gods? Sheriff Daisy didn't say.
It's a project of the Ward family, a showcase for their know-how. They grow food there using the latest technologies. Colorado Springs leads the world in science. But there are plenty of places to hide in the garden. The Dorseys could be laying for us anywhere. We shall have to be cautious.
Before we go anywhere, let's talk about your combat experience.
Certainly. My father taught me to shoot almost before I could walk, and I'm the best shot in the city.
Oh, it's true. She's a prodigy, all right. Also a pain in the ass.
But have you ever killed anyone?
No. But I have hunted. There's no need to worry that I will be shy about pulling the trigger. I promise, strangers, if it is to save my family, I will not hesitate.
Are you sure you don't want to leave this to the professionals?
I know very little about you, strangers. And even if I trusted you as I would a friend, it is still my family who the Dorseys threaten. I must go.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I mean, it's not like the Rangers haven't taken youngsters before. We had Ralphie back in Wasteland too. All right then, let's go.
At last.
Let's just hope you don't end up regretting it. Yeah. Let's have another chat with the magistrate, get Austin cut loose. Then we'll pillage the rest of the marshal's office. As for Lucia... we're definitely going to have to shore up that strength, but... otherwise, I think we'll put most of her points into charisma. She's going to have a hard time keeping up with the rest of the squad. Nice assortment of support skills, all of which just happen to be ones we don't have. What a coincidence. Yeah, so welcome aboard, Lucia. The Patriarch looms over the pillories, surveying the punishment of the guilty.
Well, Rangers, what brings you here?
Yeah, so Austin Pease says he didn't kill anyone. What'll it take to free him?
His crimes are still severe. He was part of the Dorsey uprising. He caused significant property damage. His actions diverted marshals from responding to reports of attacks, magnifying the harm the Dorseys were able to inflict. Argue a case, and I might show lenience.
Oof, so they're hitting us with a difficulty 4 skill check right out of the starting gate. I mean, we can afford it, but... You know what? Let's at least try to find another solution here. At the very least, we should run through some other options. We'll boost the skill if we have to. He's not a bad kid, and he's all his mother has. Kill him, and you might as well kill her.
My concern cannot be for his mother. It can only be for the law. Regrettable, but he chose this path, not I.
Okay, what if the Rangers were to pay for his damages, and assume guardianship over the boy?
You wish to compensate the city and the owners of the damaged properties for their losses. I can facilitate that. That's the price in Colorado dollars.
Oof, that is a bit steep, but... You know, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think $200 is all that much. Sure, here you go. He takes the money, writes a receipt for you, and jots a note in a battered ledger. He tucks the ledger back into his robes.
This is irregular, but it is within my powers to grant you full custody of Austin Pease. Any further infractions he may commit are the Ranger's responsibility. I would recommend keeping him out of trouble. You should inform the boy. Best he hears the good news from you.
Neelius Dorsey lives. He'll kill you all.
Murderers!
That's nice.
Still here. Not looking forward to what comes next.
So, we talked to the magistrate. He says he'll release you. But you'll be working for us now.
What? Are you serious? You really saved my life and I get to be a ranger? Soon as they let me free, I'm going straight to your headquarters. I'll do whatever you need me to do. Clean guns, scrub toilets, you name it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Huh. Well, if you're happy, then I'm happy too. Glad things worked out. Honestly, even just the fame and the reputation are worth the $200.
Neelius Dorsey lives. He'll kill you all.
You Rangers are heroes. I'm gonna tell everyone what you did for my son.
No regret, no repentance.
Dorsey scum!
Yeah, that definitely ate into our meager starting funds, but we've got plenty of stuff we can sell. We should be fine. It's a lot harder to earn positive rep.
Too old to fight the Dorseys, they said. Ha!
Yeah, you don't sound a day over 60.
Must be drunker than I thought. Did someone yell something about Dorseys?
Good cop, bad cop, and a swinging exposed light bulb. Classic. We've got some loot and hostiles out back. I think we'll head that way next. Okay, yeah, we've got a lot more wiggle room there, so I'm a lot more comfortable boosting our lockpicking. We're gonna get a lot of use out of that skill. That and explosives. Just wanted to make sure. Okay, let's collect some evidence. Focus. Plus 30 crit chance. Minus 10 evasion. That's actually not bad. Ooh, tier 3 sniper rifle. Very nice. Another pocket dock. An interrogation. This cassette is blank and appears well used, as if taped over many times. Oh, that was unpleasant, but it was also informative. Apparently, Nelius Dorsey was specifically gunning for Lucia's father for some reason. It also gives us a much better idea of how the marshals operate, though that's not much of a surprise given what we've seen so far. Mountain full of dead Dorseys. Delightful.
We'll have our revenge. You ain't seen the last of us.
Dozens killed by Dorsey thugs. Families taken hostage.
Machine shop. No reason to go there just yet.
How does it feel now?
Brave Marshal stopped Dorsey's at Palace Gates. Patriarch alive and safe. New in town? Did you hear about what happened?
This young man is still in his teens. He carries numerous copies of a newspaper, the Colorado Patriot. We hear there's been trouble.
Sure has. Dorsey's got into the city, but nobody knows how. They started shooting up the place and killed a lot of people. Then they made a run at the Patriarch's palace. Oh, but they couldn't get inside. It took a while, but Sheriff Daisy and the marshals beat him back. Now they're holed up in the Garden of the Gods. Well, some of them, anyway. Others jumped in their trucks and ran for it.
What do you know about the Dorseys?
Just what I've been told. Back before I was born, they were the family that betrayed the Patriarch and tried to take charge of Colorado. The thing is, everybody thought they'd been dead for years. I mean, there's tons of stories about how the Patriarch wiped them all out.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of that going around lately. Funny, that. So, you report the news around here?
Yep. I work for the Colorado Patriot, only newspaper left in America. We tell people what's happening in the city and what they should think about it.
Apt. Very apt. Thanks for your time, kid.
Be careful. Might still be Dorseys hiding out in the city.
The young guard's face is nervous but determined. He steps forward as you approach, holding his hand up.
By order of the Patriarch, only authorized personnel are to pass this gate.
What kind of authorization do we need?
An invitation from the head of a family or authorization from the Patriarch. Until you have that, the gate stays closed.
Why is the gate closed?
The attack on the city has everyone nervous. Until that's all settled down, Patriarch's orders are in effect. Authorized business only.
What's through the gate?
Broadmoor Heights and the Patriarch's Palace.
He clearly feels his job does not include expansive description. Which is fine. Alright. Thanks.
Good day.
Oh, hey, and look at that. Looks like the guards have reason to be on edge. Let's make sure we're ready for this. Okay, so we're not going to be keeping Quan. I don't trust him, and he's kind of redundant anyway. But we will be keeping Lucia. She's got a good complementary skill set, and I like her attitude. That said, we definitely need to do something about that low constitution, and we need to do something about her low XP gain. We'll go ahead and toss her the badge and the hat. It's not much, but that will boost her XP gain by 7%. She'll still be slowly falling behind, but we can shore up her charisma as she gains levels. And in the short term, that'll also boost her constitution, because she's on an odd amount of strength. Every even amount, you gain additional constitution per level. Though we will want to take her up to at least 4 anyway. As for Dahl, the marksman rifle is definitely a step up, but it also would require us to boost her sniper skill to 3. We'll hold off on that for now.
Why else would I even keep a shotgun around if I don't use it?
Do you know who those outlaws are, Josiah? They're Dorseys. They won't be scared of a scrawny old man.
A scrawny old man with a shotgun? Hang on, I'm not that old.
Garden of the Gods is just north of Market Square. Marshal Lupinski should be out front.
Consarn it! You Dorsey peckerheads, get on out of there!
The old man is shouting into the nearby shop and waving a shotgun around.
Hush up now, Josiah. You can't go in there alone. They'll kill you.
You think I can't handle myself? I've put down worse than these in my time.
Since when? You've been a shopkeeper all your life.
When she notices you, an expression of relief crosses her face.
Will you help me talk some sense into this old fool? If he goes after those Dorseys, he'll get himself killed.
what's going on here?
Some of those Dorsey bastards are hiding out in my shop. My shop! Finest clothing store in the whole dang town. So I'm going in after them.
Why don't you ask the marshals for help?
They're too busy. Besides, a man should be able to protect his own shop.
Well, hey, you want some help killing Dorseys? We're in.
Finally, someone with some spine. I'd do it all myself, but since you're new in town, I figured you'd need to show your mettle.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Josiah, don't you do this. Let these people handle it. They've had plenty of experience by the look of them.
Well, I'm ready when you are.
Ignoring his wife, he raises his shotgun. Actually, how about we handle this ourselves? You stay here.
Thank you. Keep an old man from killing himself, will you?
Killing myself? Can't you pretend to have some faith in me, Martha? Especially in front of these soldier types?
He shakes his head, then turns to you.
You do this, you'll get a nice discount at the shop. Assuming I still have a shop by the time it's all over. Well, go on then.
All right. Let's go shoot us some Dorseys. Okay, looks like we've got 3 of them, and I don't think they know we're here yet, so let's take up some firing positions.
Shit, Hotlanders! We thought you was all dead! Back off!
Hey, good looking. Well, they do know that we're here. They're just not shooting at us, so I guess we should try to talk. But we will still hug cover, just in case. All right, Retcon. You are our leader and our most heavily armored. Let's bring you up a bit closer. Huh, okay. Let's try a little closer.
I done told you! Don't come any closer!
Okay, so here's the deal. We could obviously just let these guys walk, but it would involve letting 3 murderous criminals go. Criminals who just acknowledged they were part of an effort to wipe out Team November. If these guys were trying to surrender, or if I had an option to demand their surrender, then sure, I'd roll with that. As it currently stands, though, the only good Dorsey is a dead Dorsey.
Oh, fuck!
Agreed.
We're in it now!
I might actually be able to catch both of these guys with one shot. Whoa. I'm not gonna lie, that was slightly more effective than I was expecting. Wow. I may have underestimated the power of the whole strike system. I will say, that makes me feel slightly better about the idea of cranking Lucia's charisma. More strikes would definitely make her more viable. job's done.
Phew, boy. Thanks again for taking care of those Dorseys. Say, if you got hurt in that scrap, you should see a friend of mine, Doc Parker. He set up a clinic in the Arapahoe garage, just outside the city gate.
He gestures down the road to the north.
And here, a little token of our appreciation. Come on back after we reopen the shop.
Will do. Y'all take care now, you hear?
I knew you had the look of soldiers about you.
Come on back after I open up my shop.
Right, I wanted to check out the hostiles and the loot in the alley. Hopefully, they'll put up a bit more of a fight. Thieves. Thieves and dead marshals. Think that just about speaks for itself, doesn't it? We've got rockets to spare. Might as well use one. All right, we're on. Let's do this. Nice. Risky play, but let's see how this works out for us.
In my field of fire!
Life goes too cheap.
Nice. Level up on Longway. Moving up. Ooh, lovely. Yeah, that should work. Fantastic. Guess we don't really need restraint at this point, do we?
That was awesome!
Awesome indeed. Nicely done, squad. Didn't put up much more of a fight, but at least they got a few shots off at us. Not quite what I was hoping for. Yeah, that was very modest loot. But I guess it's just luck of the draw. Used cat litter, something I am quite familiar with. and a sack of cat bones, something which I am thankfully not. Look away, Major Tom. Sans Lux. Sounds fancy. Yeah, we can crack that. Swanky.
Came here for every class trip we ever had. Is Buchanan a man?
Oh, you know what? I bet one of the dead marshals out here is the sister for that poor gal back in the marshal's office. Shame. This display is inactive. Artificial limbs and augmentations taken from the bodies of defeated scar collectors after the legendary Battle of Pumpkin Center, where the Patriarch defeated the savage warlords of the Eastern Plains once and for all. The original and authentic treaty that united the 100 families under the Patriarch's rule for the safety of the people of Colorado, signed by the Patriarch himself and representatives of each of the families. You know what? That reminds me. Yeah. Wesson and Reyes. They were mentioned in Blue's journal, and Lucia told us that her parents had those same surnames. Interesting. We don't have a lot of context just yet, but that might have something to do with why Nelius Dorsey specifically singled out Lucia's family. Oh, and while we're here, we might as well get that new gear slotted. Lucia, where did your hair go? Yeah, that's a little better. I can also see we're starting to get some slowdown, so we do need to wrap this up. We'll finish up with the museum.
Yeah, this whole place is a gloss. But who wants to hear all the ugly details?
Me? I do love lore. No, it's fine. I'll just piece it together myself. A replica of the rifle Sheriff Daisy used when she fought at the Patriarch's side during the war against the Plains gangs. For her bravery, heroism, and tactical brilliance, he appointed her Sheriff of Colorado Springs. A can of baked beans from the bunker where the Patriarch's family waited out the deluge of fire. Canned food like this was all they had to eat, unlike today, when the Patriarch has provided us with fresh, greenhouse-grown vegetables.
Why, hello there! My name's Old Baldy, and this here is the Saul Buchanan, Colorado Heritage Museum, or, as I like to call it, home. Me and my friends here dedicated telling the story of old Saul Buchanan and the refounding of the great state of Colorado, which is just the first step in Saul's plan to bring back the good old United greats of America. Now, just stroll from stage to stage, and we'll tell you the story along the way. It's as simple as that. Any questions before you go?
Yes, I have many questions. Did Buchanan make this museum for himself?
Saul Buchanan is far too modest for such egotistical shenanigans. No, sir. It was the 100 families who built this place as a gracious thank you to the Patriarch for all he's done for them.
Yeah, I'll bet. Tell us Buchanan's story.
Well, I don't want to spoil the show, but it begins with Saul's humble start in this very town. And it follows the trials and tribulations he faced uniting the 100 families, defeating the monster army, and bringing peace and security to Colorado. And, in case you were worried, it's suitable for children of all ages.
Oh, good. Wouldn't want objectionable content. Are you the American Eagle?
Look just like my picture, don't I? Now, wait a minute. Let me give you my good side. There you go. I gotta admit, though, I'm looking better than I was. Life's been pretty tough on old Baldy since the world went to pot. Lost a lot of feathers. But now that Patriarch Buchanan's rebuilding America, I'm starting to feel like my old self again.
All right, I guess that's all we want to know. Thanks.
Great! Then on with the show! Youngest son of the Buchanan clan. Brave survivors of the fall of man. Baby Saul grew straight like a tree, could swing a sledgehammer before he was 3. Learned to read and write before he could walk. Finished all his schooling before he could talk. Showed all his teachers a thing or two when he taught them that a fact didn't have to be true. Is Buchanan a man? Oh boy, what a man! The strongest of men! You can say that again.
Very modest. The sword of Nelius Dorsey, who led his clan in an attempted coup against the Patriarch. Nelius and the Dorseys were defeated after a treacherous attempt on the Patriarch's life.
My uncle tells me you're a man of questionable morals, Mr. Quan.
Well, that's why I'm on the payroll. Somebody's got to get their hands dirty, so good folk like you can keep your hearts clean.
That's not how Colorado Springs works, Mr. Quan. That's how you work.
Huh. I'm sure you know best.
Some very interesting timing on that exchange there. Uniform of a soldier in the Monster Army, the gang that terrorized Colorado Springs until the Patriarch defeated them and won their fealty. The bullet holes and blood show the fierceness of the fighting. Which I guess would be these guys.
Families behind him Saul went to war and fought all the monsters of Satan's Azor. He lined them all up and he cut them all down till Flap the Inhaler surrendered his crown. Buchanan spared Flap and made him a deal.
If your boys work for me, they'll never miss a meal.
Flap signed up on the dotted line. Now his monsters keep us safe in the evening time. Is Buchanan a man? Oh boy, what a man. The truest of men. You could say that again.
Okay. I think they actually re-recorded the singing for the launch version. A shame. I think I actually like the beta version better. The chorus is nice, though.
Well, the Dorseys thought they had a better idea. Believed they could rule by murder and fear. Tried to steal Colorado from our patriarch, but old Saul proved his bite was worse than his bark. Drove out the Dorseys and gave their lands to the poor and the needy and the Indians. So mercy for the merciless was his stand. So he hunted the Dorseys to the very last man. Is Buchanan a man? Oh boy, what a man. The truest of men. You could say that again.
I get the distinct impression that some of these displays might not be entirely accurate. New Tour Introduction, Version 1. Play in case no staff is present.
Greetings, visitors. My name is Junko Murayama, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Saul Buchanan Colorado Heritage Museum. You're about to embark on a journey through history as we share with you the people and events that made Colorado what it is today. Our new and improved animatronic exhibits will bring history to life as you learn about the rise of the Patriarch, the unification of the 100 families, and their battles against the Monster Army and the Plains Gangs. The staff of the Colorado Heritage Museum asks that you do not interact with the exhibits. Ready? Let's go!
Okay, so, I didn't want to interrupt Junko. She sounds very nice and very enthusiastic, but we just found a brainwave destabilizer and a cybernetic laser eye in the back room of a museum. I mean, sure, we found a rifle and some other stuff too, but a laser eye. I'm not going to question it. I am just going to enjoy this, though obviously we can't actually use it just yet. I suspect we will have to wait until we encounter the Scar Collectors before we unlock the mysteries of cybernetics. That brainwave destabilizer, though. Might have to give that a test run when we get out to the Garden of the Gods. Anyway, let's peruse the rest of the displays and start winding things down. I believe we've looked at all the display cases. The Saul Buchanan Colorado Heritage Museum seems closed for business. I can't imagine why. Guess that just leaves the singing animatronics.
The 100 families came to see O Springs, and all fell to fighting over frivolous things. Till Saul raised their heads to the circling wings of the vultures who were waiting to dine like kings. He said that the only way to save the land was to bury the hatchet and all shake hands. So they signed the treaty in a single day and begged him to lead them and show them the way. Is Buchanan a man? Oh boy, what a man. The truest of men. You could say that again. Then came the gangs of the eastern plains, hoping to rob us of our worldly gains. Old Saul saw him coming and he rolled up his sleeves. He said, "You're all nothing but a pack of thieves." Strong as an ox at 70, he faced down the savages again and again, and drove them back to the desolate east and secured for Colorado an endless peace. Is Buchanan a man? Oh boy, what a man. The truest of men. You could say that again.
Yeah, so first of all, they definitely changed the singing. In the beta, I believe it was actually performed by the voice actress who did Junko Moriyama. She was the curator on the tape we found in the back room. I actually like that a little better, but this was fine too. Putting that aside, though, this really gives us an interesting glimpse into just how the Patriarch and the Marshals run the city with this sort of idealized version of their own history that clearly doesn't mirror reality. I mean, they claim that the Dorseys were defeated forever, wiped out to the man. Obviously not the case. We encountered hundreds of them on our way here. Not to mention the claim that the Eastern Plains gangs were wiped out forever. Clearly not the case. There are refugees flooding into Colorado Springs, telling stories about how the Eastern Plains gangs are wiping out their settlements. I mean, look, even Marshal Quan was surprisingly straightforward about it basically just being a gloss over a much more unpleasant truth. Though the fact that Lucia, on the other hand, actually believes this stuff, that's also very telling. She is a privileged member of the 100 Families, whereas Marshal Quan is an actual cog in the machine that keeps the Patriarch's kingdom running. Anyway, we will hit the pause button for now, but we will pick up here next time as we finish our tour of downtown Colorado Springs and then set our sights on the Garden of the Gods. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Wasteland 3, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official YouTube and Twitch channels, the official social media feeds, or the official store pages. As always, links are in the description.